with the comments on the bill.
Me retla seka dintlha tseno kwa morago kwa bofelong morago ga gore re seke maikutlo a lona malebana le molaotlhomo o.
So we can give you that assurance that we will be able to explain what procedure to follow in order to deal with those issues.
Jaanong ra lo tlhomisetsa gore re tlile go le tlhalosetsa gore lo ka dira jang gore le kgone go romela ditshwaelo tsa lona le matshwenyego a lona ka dintlha tseno tsa meepo.
And then when we ask for the show of hands or people to point at people, we will give you the number.
Me fa re sena go go supa ha o ntse o tsholetse seatla re tlile go gona nomoro ya gago.
I assume in other areas the chairs are usually here. I assumed they are here now.
Mo mafelong a le mantsi a re tswang ka gone gantsi ditulo ba tla di bea mo magareng me ke bona gore mo kagong eno ba di beile ka fa letlhakoreng la me la moja.
So number one will take the first chair.
Jaanong motho wa ntlha o tlile go bua o tla tsa setulo se se mo khutlong e ka kwano
until the last one.
go fitlhela wa bofelo go khutlong e kgakala.
Please, we urge you, for the sake of the meeting, you shouldn't come to the chair if you are not pointed at.
Jaanong re le rotloetsa bagaetso gore e le gore kopane kgona go tsamaya ka thelelo re kopa gore o ska tla mo setulong fa ile gore ga wa supiwa.
But we will make it a point that everyone who is here is attended to on what he or she wants to raise with regards to the proposed bill.
Me re tla dira ka natla gore motho mongwe le mongwe yo le teng fano o a rediwa malebana le ditshwano tsa gagwe tse di malebana le molaotlhomo o.
You are free to speak in a language of your own choice.
O gololosegile go bua ka puo epe fela e o e batlang.
But we may not have other interpretations. For instance, I haven't seen anyone, even amongst us here, who can help with the German interpretation. So we will stick to the languages that we have within the borders of South Africa.
Me ka maswabi ga rena dipuo tse dingwe tsa moseja kgotsa tse di kwa ntle ga naga ka go ga ise ke lemoge gore go na le motho mongwe yo ka kgona go ranola sejeremane ka jalo ra kopa ka tswe gore a re bueng dipuo tsa rona tsa Afrika Borwa tsa semolao.
The last two things I must say, be free, as I said, to speak in your language of your own choice, but let's be conscious, one, of time. Two, if you are reading, which is allowed, if you are reading, we will request you when you are done to deposit that information to the staff that is sitting here.
Me dintlha tse pedi tse ke rata go di umaka ka gore le setse re buile gore o gololosegile go bua ka puo epe fela e o e batlang me gape se sengwe re kopa gore re nne ke lo tlhoko thata ka go boloka nako me gape se sengwe ke gore fa ile gore go na le selo se se kwadileng o letleletse gore o ka se bala me re ka go kgothaletsa gore fa o sena go se bala kgotsa o se tshwere o tle o se ne badiri ba ka fa letlhakoreng leno la me e ba ba dutseng fa pele.
So we encourage what is written because no one can misrepresent what you would have written yourself.
Jaanong re kgothaletsa thata dintlha ditshwaelo tse di kwadilweng ka gonne fa ile gore di kwadilwe ga gona motho o pele gore o tla bua ntlha e sokameng mo go ya gago.
Can we now take hands?
Jaanong re kopa gore re tle re tsholetseng diatla ba ba ka ratang go agela.
Please don't look whether there is someone next to you who wants to raise a hand.
Re kopa se ka ipapisa le motho o mongwe o bona gore a o batla go tsholetsa seatla kgotsa nya.
Can we take hands? One with the one. Yes. Please come. No, it's number one with the red.
Wa kepise khibidu. Re kopa gore o tle.
Number two. Yeah. Yes, come. Because next time you'll come, that chair might be occupied. Number three. Number four. Oh, I've got supplementary eyes. Okay, number five. Yes, you come. Come to the front. You take chair number 5. Is there any other hand?
A gona le yo mongwe?
Okay. Going one,
Re tloga re e
going
tswala.
two.
Jaanong ra e tswalela.
Okay. It
Re
means, it means we can close. The only people is those that are coming in now that we will do a fair. Okay. Can we take number one? And then just give us your name and surname, and then whether you support or you don't support, and you can go on.
Re kopa wa ntlha mme o gopole gore
What the interpreters will do, they will write, because we don't want you, you know, when you speak and then somebody wants to interpret, you forget what you were speaking on. We'll allow you to speak, and then they will do the interpretation when you are done.
jaanong re kopa o gopole gore fa o tla fano o bitse leina la gago le sefane le gore a wa dumelana kgotsa o ganetsana le molaotlhomo.
The MPRDA as opposed to introducing a new bill. There's no need, my reasons for not supporting the bill as it is are as follows. There's no need for additional legislation to separate petroleum from the Minerals and Petroleum Resource Development Act. We reject the Upstream Petroleum Resource Development Bill. We need to remind the committee members that petroleum, like minerals, remains a common heritage for all and in the custody of the state and on behalf of all the people. However, there's relentless effort to reduce the role of the state to that of an administrator of mining rights, while the private sector that benefited from colonialism and apartheid continues to steal our minerals and petroleum resources. The legislation about any petroleum resources must establish a state-owned petroleum company that will explore, produce, trade, transport, and sells oil and natural gas, and not only issue rights to multinationals. These multinational companies do not want to pay taxes, do not want to hire our people, and do not take responsibility of the environmental damage. They are all involved in aggressive tax avoidance, profit shifting, and base erosion. It is not true that the bill in its current form enhances state participation. It does the opposite and hand over the petroleum resources to Total, Shell, and soon other multinational will get the stake. We reject the clause that says only 10% of the upstream petroleum resources must be reserved for PEE when black people make up more than 80% of South Africa's population. We are surprised that the former Minister of Finance, Tito Mboweni, promised a sovereign wealth fund, but it does not find any expression in this legislation where there is evidence that it is the best model to share the petroleum wealth of a nation. It must be included in the bill. We want to give practical proposal on beneficiation and localization. Localization plan must not come from private companies. The law must say at least 50% of all oil, natural gas must be produced and processed in South Africa to contribute to local industries. The bill is too vague in this area as their so-called local content clause does not have details, and we reject it. It must not be the minister's prerogative. It must be a law passed by Parliament that we must benefit our petroleum resources. We want to request the committee, as part of finalizing the bill, to get experts to provide evidence of what has happened since the adoption of the MPRDA in terms of transformation of the mining sector, including all upstream and downstream aspects of the industry. This will help to avoid producing similar outcome with petroleum. Then clause 34, subsection 2, must include the following. The law must say at least 50% of all petroleum products found in South Africa must be produced and processed in South Africa to contribute to local industries. Thank you very much. That's my contribution.
Leina la me ke Nqobile Nhlongo, me se ke batla go se ra ka kwa tshimologong fela ke gore ga ke dumalane le molaotlhomo ono. Me ntle le gore ke ratile thata ke gore re tshwanetse gore re tle re fetole kgang eno ya MPRDA ka gonne ga e kgone go bereka sentle e ka tsela e le gore ka yone. Jaanong lebaka la go bo goreng ke sa dumalane le molaotlhomo ono ka kakaretso ke ka gonne ga ke bone go tlhokega gore go tle go arogangwe mafapha ano o mabedi. ke bua ka lefapha la di-minerale mmogo le la petroleum. Gopola gore petroleum ke yone pelo ya naga ya rona, mme re tlhoka thata gore re tle re sireletse le gore e dire ka tsela e tshwanang. Mme di-company tsa poraefete fa e le gore go tlile go arogangwa ka tsela eno ke tsone tse di tlileng go sologela molemo le go feta. Ke tsone tse di tlileng go sologela molemo thata go na le gore baagi le setšhaba ba sologele molemo. Mme di-company tseno tse di tswang kwa ntle ba efoga thata gore ba tle ba duele lekgetho kgotsa go tsenya seatla mo tlhabololong ya setšhaba. Jaanong ka ntlha mabaka ano fa e le gore ba bona dithata tse di oketsegileng ga ba kitla ba kgona go thusa rona baagi ba e le gore metswedi eno e tswa ko go teng. Mme e tla be le fela go neela di-company tse digolo tse di tshwanang le Shell, Total le BP tse le gore di na le dithata tse dintsi fa go tloa mo kganyeng ya petroleum. Mme re ganetsana thata le gore e nne 10% fela e le gore BEE e ya e bona ka gone e nnye thata mme re akanya gore tshwanetse gore e okediwe. Mme re Mboweni o kile a bua ka sovereign fund e le gore e tlile go thusa setšhaba sotlhe. Jaanong ga re bone seno se tsamaisana le se re Mboweni a ile a se bua. Re bua ka tona ya matlotlo wa Maloba. Mme re dumela gore petroleum e le gore e bonwa kgotsa e bonwa mo nageng ya rona e tshwanetse gore e tlhagisiwe le go tlhotlhwa mo nageng ya rona ka gonne fa re dira jalo re tla be roketsa ditšhono di le dintsi. Mme jaaka clause number 34 subsection 2 e bolela re batla gore petrolo e le gore e bone mo nageng ya rona e dirisiwe kgotsa re batla gore e tle e tlhotlhwe le gore e tle e dirisiwe mo nageng ya rona. Ra leboga.
Sure. Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Conrad Ngobeni. I'm the ward councillor of Ward 58 here in Pretoria's CBD, just right where we are seated. Chair, I would like to support the bill in its current form, but however, I've got one challenge. And that challenge is on the basis of the 10%, which is reserved for Black South Africans who are marginalized. We are only recognized after 1994. And one of the reasons is on the basis that the big five, your Shell, your Total, they've already captured the market share, and we need to change things. I mean, to speak of saying that for black people to be recognized within the bill in its current form, and then you are reserving 10%, I think there's a problem. Chair, I want to propose 60%, that it be reserved for South Africans so that there can be a greater transformation, there can be greater participation thereof. Another challenge which is within the bill, Chair, is the fine thereof. The fine thereof, because of you have already proposed in the bill that there will be a petroleum agency which will be established to deal with the licensing issues. But when you go to fines, is the Director General who is having an upper hand. I think we need to take back that function, place it to the Petroleum Agency so that there can be better administration and efficient control. Thank you very much, Chair. I support the bill in its current form. Thanks.
Ngiyanibingelela mina ke ngukhansela Ngobeni i-ward councillor. Mina ngiyawusekela lo mthetho osivivinywa kodwa kunenselela eyodwa enginayo. inselela enginayo imaqondana nale 10% yezabelo ezibekelwe abantu abansundu okuwabantu bebenganawo amathuba ngaphambilini. Thina siqale nje ukuba nawo lamathuba ngo1994. Kodwa izinkampani ezinhlanu ezinkulu oShell no Total bona sebaba nezabelo kulemboni eziningi. Ingakho ngithi mina ngicabanga ukuthi kufanele kube khona uhlelo lokuletha ushintsho kulemboni. Ngoba ukuthi sinikeza abantu abamnyama amaphesenti ayishumi kuphela ngibona kuyinkinga ngoba bona bebenganawo amathuba ngaphambilini maqhathaniswa nalezi inkampani ezinkulu okuyizona ezizinze kulomkhakha. Mina bengihlongoza ukuthi kube u60% obekelwe abantu abansundu ngoba bona babenganawo amathuba ngaphambilini. Lokhu sikwenzela ukuthi kube khona ukuhlelwa kabusha kulemboni nokugqugquzela ukubamba iqhaza kwalabo ababenganawo amathuba ngaphambilini. Okunye futhi engikuphawulile inselelo yesihluliso njengoba kukhulunywa ukuthi iPetrol Agency ikhona ekuhambiseni noma ekuphatheni kwekhonjiseni kwalenqubo. Kodwa ukuya ngalomthetho osivivinywa kuthiwa lesi sihlawuliso umqondisi jikelele Director General uye onamagunya wokukhipha lesi sihlawuliso. Mina bengihlongoza ukuthi lawo magunya anikezwe uphiko oluphethe Petrol Agency ukuthi kube yiyo ehambisa lawo magunya. Ngoba ngiyacabanga ukuthi kuzoba khona ukusebenzeka ngokwemiphumela. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Ngiyawusekela lo mthetho osivivinywa.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Ralph. My surname is Chabangu. I'm from Ward 8 here in Pretoria. I would like to reject the bill based on the following points. The legislation about petroleum resources must establish a state-owned petroleum company that will explore, produce, trade, and transport the natural resources, and not only issue rights to multi-companies. We reject the clause that says only 10% of the upstream petroleum resources must be reserved for BEE, while in majority, blacks here in South Africa contribute to more than 80% of the population. So those are the reasons that we are rejecting this bill for. In addition, we want the bill to give practical proposal on beneficiating the local and localization plan that will come from private companies. And lastly, the bill should include, actually it should compel the department to establish industries that will ensure that local production of technology will be used to benefit young people in South Africa from these mineral and resources of the country. And considering the fact that petroleum industry in the country is still at infancy phase, and therefore a lot of things at initiation stages, the bill should outlaw the use of labor brokers and contractors for work that will be needed for as long as the company is functioning, and both private and public sector should be compelled by law to employ all its employees on a full-time basis. Thank you.
Joman, I might have not seen it. Ufuna no Ralph to do the same. So that we, like I said, we'll appreciate because it's written if you can just post that information so that it's captured correctly the way you put it.
Thobela, nna leina la ka ke Ralph Chabangu, ke tswa ke le ko Ward 8. Me ga ke thekge molaokakanywa o. Ke re molao o swanetše o dira gore go bane le company eo e leng gore ke ya mmušo, eo e leng gore ke yona e tlo bang le taolo mo godimo ga ditokelo ka moka tša taolo ya tša makhura, le gona ga ba swanela gore ba fefela di-company tšeo e leng gore ke tša moše tše dikgolo ditokelo tša go ka šomašomana le tša makhura. Mme ke boa gape ke ganana le taba ya gore batho ba swanetše ba fiwe 10% fela, ka ge e le gore batho ba baso mo nageng ye ba dira dipersente tše ka ba 80 ka bontšhi mo nageng. Mme ke boa gape ke re le taba e ya leano la localization ga le a swanela gore e be lona leo e leng gore le tšwa mo di-companying tšeo e leng gore ke tša private, eupša swanetše e be leano le e leng gore le thalwa ke ba mmušo. Mme ke boa gape ke re leano le swanetše e be leo e leng gore le matlafatša le go thuša baswa mo nageng ye. Le gona ka ge le gore industry ye ya tša makhura mo nageng ye e santšane e le empša, e santšane e le ka yeo e leng gore e sa gola. Mme mmušo o swanetše e be wona o e leng gore o tšea taolo, o kgona go ka laola dilo ka moka. Mme ke boa gape ke re di-company tšeo e leng gore di tla be di thapiwa ke mmušo gore di mekamekane le tša makhura, di swanetše di thape bašomi go ya go ile, e be gore e ba yona full time basis employment. Ke a leboga.
Good morning. My name is Odwa Notununu. I'm from Tshwane Ward 80. I would like to propose a rejection of this bill due to the fact that it gives the minister powers that can really create a huge problem for the country. We're requesting the removal of clause number 92. It is a dangerous and it opens a can of worms where communities like Xolobeni in the Wild Coast, the site of Eastern Cape, Bizana, Kapantsi kwa Winnie Mandela Municipality, and others who refuse the mineral and petroleum activities in their land will be forcefully removed due to this clause and manipulated to relocate. This can also happen to individuals and then being used to uproot them from the ancestral land because the law permits them. However, we reject this clause number 95 and request the amendment of section 25 of the Constitution to make the provision for the land to be expropriated without compensation and for the land to be used under the state custodianship. In that way, the state, through various organs, can make necessary interventions where there is potential economic benefits for the country in the land that houses communities or historical significant assets. Speaker, we also request that there must be a rejection of this bill because our people do not really understand this bill. We feel like this is a continuation of what happened in Codesa, where we feel people up in the halls and then come and rubber stamp the policies and then pretend as if people really did understand what you are talking about. We, in this form, we reject it and we think that it must be an amendment of the petroleum bill that has already been in place rather than separating them. Thank you.
Sengibona njengesigqoko ngifuna uthi congratulations.
Molweni nonke, igama lam ngu-Odwa Notununu, ndiphuma eTshwane Ward 8. Ndifuna ukuthi ndiyayikhaba le bill ngoba iza nezinto ezingaxhasani ne clause 92. Uxolo, ndifuna ukususa section 92 kwi clause ngoba inobungozi kuba abantu abahlala eWinnie Mandela bayonzakala. Siyayikhaba i-clause 95 kuba sivakalela ukubana umhlaba kufanele ugcinelwe abantu bendawo abazokwazi ukuxhakamfula kwamathuba wavelayo. Abantu abayazi le bhili ngoko siyayikhaba kodwa siyavumelana nokuamendwa kwe-clause. Enkosi.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Mamoloto Tlabela. I am from Ward 101 Tshwane. I hereby reject this bill in its current form. And I say, why don't we amend the existing bill based on a number of factors that I will raise hereof. The first one is the issue of definition of a black person in the bill. Apart from the issue of the 10% that needs to be allocated to, I'm of the opinion that we need to define or remove rather section A 2 and B2, which stipulates that a black person can also mean a jurisdiction person which is managed and controlled by persons contemplated in subparagraph 1AA or BB, and the persons collectively or as a group own and control 50+1% on the issue share capital.
Doc, just a bit to help you. Can you take this mic? Because you are, just put it, come a little bit in front. No. The mic, you know why? Because there are people who come behind you and I could see you get this, anyone. Just bring the mic forward so that there is space for those people who are going behind. Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I'll go directly to the bill. The bill must explicitly develop regulation that will ensure ownership and participation in the industry reflect demographics, even within black sector of society. This should be included in the definition of black as well. Currently, the black-owned businesses and industries are dominated by Indian and Asians who have also been advantaged over the period of years with the exclusion of those classified as Africans and as colored from participating. That's the part I'm vehemently opposed to. And I say it must strike on issue of section 1.1, the bill must strike a balance between local beneficiation. That clause should be rephrased as such. And the last one here is that should the bill go forward, in section 12.5, actually, yeah, on environment, it should include activities like trekking and any other methods that are used in mining. Thank you.
Leina la ka ke Dr. Matutu Tlabela. Mamoloto Tlabela. Sa mathomo ke ganetšana le molao ka kanywa wo. Ka tlase ga mabaka a latelago. Re lebeletše gore motho moso ga a fiwa ditabakelo tšeo di tlago go kgona gore a be le taolo godimo ga molaokakanywa wo. Sa bobedi, taba ya gore batho baso ba swantse go arolelwa 10% le yona ke ganetšana le yona. Sa boraro, go na le tlhathollo ya A2 le B2 tšeo ka tšona re swantšeng go hlathollelwa gore molaokakanywa wo o tlo re thuša jwang le gore re tlo bang gore ge o phethagatšwa rena ba re le go batho ba baso re o kwešiša jwang. Sa boraro, taolo ya AA le BB ke nngwe ya dilo tšeo di dirago gore re se ke ra kwešiša šomišo le taolo ya molaokakanywa eo. Re swantse gore re be le šomišano gareng ga batho ba tšwa mantle ba maindia le ba bangwe bao ba reng ge ba tlile ka mo e be bona ba hwetšago disola tše kgolo godimo ga šomišo ya molaokakanywa o. Se sengwe gape ke gore go ya ka taolo ya 101 re swantse go lekalekana šomišong le taolong ya molaokakanywa o. Ya mafelelo ge re tla temaneng ya 12.5 re hlokomele gore a tikologo ya rena e tlo amega ka tsela efe kudu go rena re le go batho ba baso. Ke a leboga.
Can we take another one? Are there any other hands? There is a hand at the back there, black cap. Come to the front. Number 2 is there. Number 3, you'll take the third chair here. Number 3, okay. Number 4, is it white or whatever the cap? That's number 4, yes. Number 5. Switch on. Is number, your hand was up, that you are number 6. Yeah. Just keep your number. Bengithi ngivalile. Sisekhona ezinye izandla? Are there any other hands? Any hand?
Can I start?
Going once, also.
Ashe.
Everyone, wait. Going 1, 2, 3. There are no other hands. Okay. No, you can start number 1.
Ashe, le ka how are you? Ke nna William Tumisho Thuke. Ke tswa ko Tonkoruku. Ko after Mamelodi before Brongol. Ko diplaseng. Go eme mo ke tlo bontšha taba ya gore go na le di-pipe tše ntšhi tše di fetang kwa tša diesel. And then a gona motho a benefita mo godimo ga tšona. So e be re hloka re le badudi ba ko re buila gore if e le gore batho ba berekang pipe la diesel ka re bona di-aeroplane tša di-fertility le eng ba katile too much le ba ma-security la di-fertility post to post pillar to post ba phela ba le gona e hleng rena reng ke re involviwa ka re le badudi ba kua re no di bona fela di tsamaya re no kwa ba re ba bangwe ba utswa mola and then ba re ba swere wa swere ma rena reng ke re ebile be re se aware ya gore re na le di-pipe mo gaufi le rena ke tlo thoma go ba aware ka morago a ke le ka bereka ye nngwe ya di-pipe tše la be thibogile ba e utswetše you know mmereko wa gona o no felela mo tseleng le pipe la ba se o fetse go e bereka yona ra gore le ba parlamenta ke re la tseba re le tšaela tlhogong ka re kuša gore le molao o mogolo go feta le dikhotho tše so wa re bolelele le ena re nagana gore taba e santse thoma e be le mae ditiro ka mogare santse go thoma go diriwa gore kwa re leng gona go bonagale gore go feta selo mo mejo tše di reagalang re sa tsere di felela ka ya go reagala eng ke mang re tlo go bolelago le ena ka gore gantši dilo tše le na le go di bereka ka bo di-councellors a kere marena wa rena councellor wa re ke pekere wa lekgogo a nka e tla go rena a reng ke re a sa nka ra mmona se ntse a dula so tše dintšhi tše re tlo bolela mo mara gore re tlo fetša re tlo kopana le solution a ke re gantši lena le kgone go fihla ka batho ba le babedi le tsa ko di-official tša lena jano ga re ba sa kgone go fihla mo rena taba e lena le lebeletse le bona ka re ile o inaiwang gore re kgone go fetsa re ba involved mo pipeng e fetang mo re le nna re se ka ba ra e utswetse ka re go feta diesel mola re na le dikoloi tša rena di tlhoka diesel ma diesel ya feta ya white blue a botlhoko white blue a re tsere go reagala ke ra gona communication so ra le kgopela le batho ba parlamente gore nke le re batho ba le ba beyang ka mfase ga lena ba di-government ba di-municipality ba di eng nke le re mmereko wa go šala ditiro tše di reagalang mo South Africa morago o ka re a reng ke re le bona le lena re kopana le lena le ka re tlile mo re kwele ba re la re hloka re kgone go bonagala gore ka nnete re badudi ba mo Pitori badudi ba South Africa mara di-benefits tse tsohle di wa swaya di no reagala mo mahlo re sa tse gore mang ke mang eng ke eng ye nngwe gapaše kwa e bego ke berekelang gona a ba fetša ba šile moleto mo mogoloang diesel e tletse ka mara moletole be go bereka company ngwe ba re ke Spiltech e na le gape ba re ke eng nthoela ba re ke di-agent ba tša workforce so re hira ke tlase ga tšona jano re ya ka mokgwa bona ba riang ka gona le bona ba Spiltech le yona government ya borena gore a re sa kgone fostana cause no go yeo ge pula enwa diesel e tswa gape tlala kwa contaminator mobu wa rena re santse re direng ka gore ga gona motho re bolelago le ena ga gona seo a re batamela kwa re fetoga di-threat o ka ba rena re distepana le bo masepala or bo mamma ba government or whatsoever why le gore there is no communication rena le dilo tse di reagalang mo rena so re kgopela gore le ba parlament ka gore gantši le di yona melao e leng gore re santse rena re ema le yona go ba ga re eme le yona a re kgone le go bolela re ema le yona ka lebaka la eng ka gore a gona selo se e leng gore la re ka re ema le yona se tlo reagala re tlo se bona ka gore a re kwe selo la re ka re eme le ona re tlo go no swana so wana re a kgopela le batho ba parlamenta interview nang ko Ward 100 ko region 5 le tlo bontšhana le rena le di-mine di gona le diamond mine ya mo South Africa ya Cullinan mine la itse temus a rena communication e sharp le bona whatsoever unless e le gore ke tšatši le gore ba swanetse gore ba bontšhe gore o kare ba bereka le rena ba ntse ba tsora ba bereka le rena ba no re pripa ka bo di-event nyana tša bo di-16 June ba ria eng ga gona mebereko a re bereke le ko le go bereka ko a gona pase e fetang ko rena na maeno ka mo rena ka mo so ka ko 100 tan le bone re na le separation e ntšhe e leng gore re nagantšha nako le nako le mekhaba re ka se be le yona ka lebaka la watele re bulang ko yona and re beile ke mmasepala so re a kgopela batho ba
Greetings. My name is William Tumisho Tuke. I'm from Donkerhoek, which is on the other side of the issue before Parliament, is that where I reside, there are diesel pipelines that pass beneath the area where we stay, but we do not benefit in any way. We only see security guards going up and down. And there was the other time where some people got arrested. And that's the only time where we got to know that there are actually diesel pipelines going.